Book has a 4.6 out of 5-star rating on Amazon, and I've never been more embarrassed in my life. Hundreds of you bought it, and in its first week, it was at number 3 in business, etiquette, and career development. And I'm recording the audiobook right now, and I have found so many typos that I am convinced that the copy edit I paid for never happened. This is my book on the unwritten rules of work for the working class and neurodivergence. And if you know me, you know that publishing this book has been hell. Like, I never had a release date, kept getting delayed, everything. And so with all of those delays and everything that's going on, to read it now out loud, like, I'm trying to not get like insanely angry. Not a single one of you has said anything. I haven't gotten any hate mail yet. I'm sure that this video will bring it. But you ain't gonna be more mad in the comments than I am, trust me. So if you read it and thought, that seems off, that's why. And, I blame myself because, I approved everything. But, I'll admit, I didn't do a copy edit after the copy edit. I was looking at formatting, I was looking at everything else. Now, I did do line-by-line developmental edit, which is when they're, telling you how does the chapter come together, how does the story flow, etc. Did that line by line 100%. I spent 3 weeks on that. But I didn't do a copy edit every time, and I was really beating myself up. And this morning, before coffee, before medication, I voice messaged my friend Rachel. Thank you, Rachel, if you're watching this, who I know was an editor-in-chief at a magazine for a while. And I was like, I know you know because you've been in charge of copywriters, like, I'm kicking myself because I approved it. And she was like, you're not supposed to have to copy edit after the copy edit. And I was like, that is how I feel. But this is especially personal for me because I have a visual disability from a car accident I was in 2018. And it's not like my vision doesn't work, it's in the brain. So from where my head hit the side of the car, ever since the hemispheres in my brain do not communicate well together visually. So I can see, but I can't always tell what I see because my brain will like fill in gaps. Our brains always do that. That's part of why we have bias. And I've had vision therapy, of course, not covered by American health insurance, or I would have done it longer. And it's gotten better. It's gotten a lot better. Like, I can drive. I'm like very careful. And whenever we rent a car, I get one that has like extra mirrors on the side, which most cars now have like the side blind spot, like beeper. Because I just know that because of a freak accident I was in 2018 that I have that. So especially when it's something that I write, because I know what I wanted to say, I don't always catch. And I'll put a similar sounding word. And I know I do this. Like, one of the most embarrassing edits is, or typos is, at one point I meant to say status quo and it says status quote. And like, I have a hard time believing a copy editor wouldn't have caught that. You know what I mean? But it's embarrassing because I should have caught it, but I know that like that specifically is my disability showing. And it's frustrating because I wasn't like that before 2018. Not that I never made a typo. And in a 400-page book, I got to give myself some grace. There's going to be typos. That is why I hired someone. And so it's just really frustrating. And I'm trying not to beat myself up too much about it because I've always enjoyed writing. And pre-academia, I prided. See, now I don't know words. I was proud of that. I thought I was a good writer. And it's been harder post 2018. And still with how much harder it's been, I wrote a fucking book. And now I'm reading it out loud to myself. And I'm beyond embarrassed. I'm mortified. Because hundreds of y'all have bought it. And that's always going to be out there. Even with a reprint. That's always going to be out there. So, the funniest thing I can say is, at least y'all know I didn't lie to you when I said that while I used AI to organize my hundreds of pages of notes, I did not use AI to write the book because AI wouldn't have done me this dirty. Now, I contacted the place that I self-published with, and they have agreed to pull it for now and to do another edit for free, which I'm happy about. And I am taking notes as I record the audiobook of every single error, which means editing this audiobook is going to be even more of a pain in the ass because of all the pausing and all of that. I'm gonna cross-check every single one, and because I'm hearing it, that is easier for me to notice where the problem is. In those hundreds of copies that y'all have, like, I don't even have a way of knowing who y'all are to, like, send you an apology copy. You know what I mean? And the 100 author copies that were part of what I bought, what am I gonna do with those now? I feel bad even donating those. So if you have any ideas for that, please let me know in the comments, because what am I gonna do with 100 books that says status quo? But anyway, if you attended my self-publishing journey with my book marketer, who was not involved in this, Rodney, you heard me talk about some of this process and what other options are. The day after we went live on YouTube, I got hacked. I hope I get my YouTube account back. If I don't, we'll probably redo it. I don't know, but I hate that that's lost. But if you know, you know, and you know, they're gonna make it right. But anyway, I don't know what else to say, but I cannot believe none of y'all have said anything, and bless you.